Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Moon, and it's me, Sailor Neptune. And as you can see, she's got gloves on today. And since the word glove is the English word, I'll keep on saying it. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about how was the Unstraight handled by Deke and CLOVERWAY. Now, this has always been one of the very few things in the Sailor Moon followership that folks tend to make a big deal about. Some of them do, some of them don't. Now, in the Sailor Moon and Deke and CLOVERWAY's take on Sailor Moon, uh, being on straight was something that Deke and CLOVERWAY did not want to get in the didn't want to get in the war over it. There were folks back in the day, and I guess there are still some folks out there, who believe that if a show has any cells that are unstraight, it be a film, a show, a play, well, they thought it was wrong. They thought it was doubly wrong. They thought it was even more wrong if that show, film, or play was made for kids. Now, today, it's a little unlike. But back then, it was, you can't say that, you can't do that. So, when Deke was going through Sailor Moon and saw that Zoisite was a man, and he was on straight, well, Deke had to make Zoisite a woman. I'm sorry to all you folks out there, but in Deke's world, Zoisite was a woman. How did they do this? By getting the show player, Kirsten Bishop, who is no longer with us anymore, to do the speaking for Zoisite. Kirsten Bishop would come back, she would do Emerald, and two is following. She'd do Kaori Knight in the third following, and she would do, I believe it's Queen Bataryu in the third film. Anyway, that's why Zoisite became a woman. And even though a lot of folks, might scathe Deke and CLOVERWAY now and say, oh, why didn't you just keep them on straight? Now here's the hang up. If Deke would have just kept Zoisite on straight, here's what I think would have happened. Well, nothing, if they were lucky. Some folks would have most likely told their children, no, you can't watch the show, so it would already harm a show which is already getting bad watch time and looking from being on early spans in the morning on UPN, WB, and Fox. Which on YTV was not, because they had on a good time. So, or these folks would have chosen to take it up with the Folkworks that Deke had deals with, or take it up with Deke themselves. And Deke didn't want to get in that. So that's why Deke chose to make Zoisite a woman. Now, you might think to yourself, hold on. Now I know some of you folks out there may have thought, hey, Sailor Moon, can I go now? Alright. So Sailor Moon already talked, alright, you can go on, Sailor Neptune. Sailor Moon talked about why Zoisite was a woman in Deke's world. By the time CLOVERWAY got the rights to the third and fourth followings of Sailor Moon, me and Sailor Neptune were unstraight. So they had to call us nearkin. And I think the grounds to why they went with nearkin is that sometimes if you're born at the same time, or if both of your kins are, nearly to each other, and you happen to have a near bond, some kin do, some kin don't. But let's just say some can do. Then, you know, and we were near kin. We grew up together. We had a near bond to each other. Now, I know a lot of folks out there scoff that and say, oh, they know that there was more to it than that, and that we were unstraight. Yes, me and Sailor Neptune, me and Sailor Uranus were unstraight. CLOVERWAY Cloverway didn't want to get in the same bind that Deke didn't want to get in back in the day. So that's why Cloverway or Pioneer, whatever what other offshoot you watch, or Path Seeker, chose to make us near kin. Now, the same folks would have the same folks that Sailor Moon talked about earlier would have done the same thing. They would have told their children not to watch the show, so it already had some bet already, or they had taken it up with the folk work, which was cartoon by this time. It went to USA, then it went to cartoon in the 4-1 Reichs. So anyway, that was why we became near kin. Now, nowadays, Viz doesn't have the same hang up, because nowadays there are more folks that are A, I guess, open-minded about it, B, have taken the time to learn about it, and C, it's not a big deal anymore. Back in the day, it was a big deal, and it's not. So I think that Deke and Cloverway both handle the Unstraight in a good way. Yes, they could have done it. They could have chosen to do it in a bad way. Well, they chose not to. And I know there's going to be someone out there who I guess only speaks for him or herself who's going to make a big deal out of it. They're going to say, oh, but why did Viz didn't have to do anything? Because by the time Viz got the rights to work with Sailor Moon, it was not the same. The mindset, the stand had shifted. There were more folks out there that were more open-minded. More folks that were, more folks that learned about it. More folks that are more entrusting to that kind of life way. Or choose. It is a choose. You're right, Sailor Neptune. At the end of the day, it is a choose. And I think that if Deke or Cloverway would have been doing Sailor Moon now, they could have kept that and not have to skim that or shift that or clean that. But so at the end of the day, they lived it. They were in a time where you had to do that. So that's why Zoe Sight was a woman. That's why Sailor Neptune, Sailor Uranus, Sailor Neptune right here were near kin. And a lot of folks like to bring up and say that Fisheye was unstraight, but I can't seek any truth to that. I can't seek any truth to that because after I watched the Cloverway one and the Viz one, they both have women show players who speak for them. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but Fisheye is straight. Anyway, if you like this film, then follow me over here at Sailor Moon for Life. What's the other film we made yesterday over here? When we talked about how I believe, well, I don't know, but it was a good film. Guess how worship was handled in Sailor Moon. I guess, or whatever. I, Sailor Moon, I, Sailor Neptune, and we'll see you later. Bye.